You cannot spell Sacramento without the A's, or can you? That has been the recent scuttlebutt after the Oakland Athletics came out and told everyone that they were no longer the Oakland Athletics, nor were they going to be the Sacramento Athletics. Instead, the team is simply going to be known as the Athletics. No mention of the River City anywhere in the name, not in a single way, shape, or form. It really isn't surprising, considering the team said that was going to be the case way back when Captain Incompetence Vivek Ranadive was posting low-res LinkedIn pictures of himself in front of Sutter Health Park's 480p scoreboard that may or may not get replaced. However, it was made officially official when the Athletics sent out some half-hearted press release that probably ended up in most people's spam folders. As someone who was born and raised in Sacramento, as someone who attends many of the city's sporting events, hell, I even went to see my alma mater, American River College, a month back play football. As a bona fide, hellified Sacramentan, not one of those fugazi types out in Roseville or El Dorado County who moved here from somewhere else a few years ago and do nothing but talk about how the city's problems are all related to whatever derogatory racial slur they prefer, but as an actual person who knows the city and one who has experienced the world beyond what Zamora and Stockton have to offer, let me give you a local perspective on the not Sacramento A's. Fine. John Fisher doesn't want to respect our city, just like he doesn't want to respect Oakland or any place that doesn't have dodgy charter schools. Fair enough. Even though the New Orleans Hornets still put Oklahoma City in their name when temporarily playing there, it's your team, run it into the ground in whatever manner you see fit. But, and there is a but, do not put our town's name on whatever merchandise you hope to sell. None whatsoever. No t-shirts, no special edition jerseys, nothing. You do not get to use the word Sacramento to sell your gear because you do not want to use the name of the town to begin with. If people in Sacramento want Sacramento A's gear, they can head over to the Nios and support some local bootlegger who will at least pump that money back in to the local economy. I'm pretty sure there will also be plenty of folks loitering around Sutter Health Park with unofficially licensed Sacramento A's merchandise, so if you want to buy that stuff, go for it. I have no issues with that, but the Oakland A's or the Athletics or the not Sacramento A's, they don't get to use Sacramento to sell anything, not even a magnet or a keychain, not at all. That's because it is patently hypocritical for the athletics organization to do everything in its power to avoid mentioning Sacramento, yet still try to make money off locals by using the town name on their products. Either you're Sacramento or you're not, full stop. It's as simple as that. Then again, maybe this isn't a concern given how little the A's have seemed to care about selling merchandise over the past decade. There is undoubtedly a reason why Last Dive Bar has sold more Oakland-related baseball shirts in the past 12 months than the A's have done in the past decade. This franchise has put in zero effort investing in things like creatives and marketing to create products that people would actually want to buy. This is something, by the way, Major League Baseball should actively enforce. If teams can simply slap the name of a random town and their logo on products, you are opening up a Pandora's box that league does not want to open. Seriously, if the Dodgers can start selling gear with their logo and the words Las Vegas, shit, the A's aren't going to move a single beer cozy down there if they ever make it down there, which seems highly unlikely. While I'm nonplussed about the A's not using Sacramento in their name, let me tell you what really bothers me about this press release and their recent announcement. As a Sacramentan who has been around long enough to remember Marcus Allen on Scratch and Paul and Phil entertaining moms and playing smooth rock on Y92, today's hits, yesterday's favorites.
Today's hits.
Yesterday's favorites.
Y92.
The A's insisting that people refer to where they play as West Sacramento. I mean, just, dude, come on. John Fisher may as well show up, walk around our town in a fanny pack holding one of those fold-out map, asking folks, hey, do you know where the state capital's at? Like, seriously, firstly, no one calls it West Sacramento. It is universally known as West Sac. And the only time anyone actually mentions West Sac is when they're talking to another person either from or living in the area. In fact, you know what? Let's play a game. Let's play the game, how do people in Sacramento tell others where they live? Locals, talking to locals, will give you their neighborhood. Antelope, Arden Arcade, Midtown, Rancho, Florin, and West Sac, among many other locations. When a Sacramentan is speaking to another Californian from outside of this part of the state, well, they may try to mention their neighborhood if they think it's big enough, Citrus Heights, Rockland, Elk Grove, something like that, but about 60% of the time, the Californian, isn't going to know what the hell the Sacramentan is referring to, and they just end up telling them Sacramento anyway. If you're speaking to an American from any of the other 49 states, well, you're just going to tell them that you live in Sacramento, and if a Sacramentan encounters anyone from overseas, you just tell them you live close to San Francisco, unless that person happens to be from the Philippines, at which point you're okay telling them that you're from Sacramento, because mostly there is a high likelihood that they will know Sacramento from the Sacramento Kings. I mean, they aren't going to know where it's at, but they'll have heard of Sacramento before. But that's sort of the hard and fast rules of this game. How do you tell people you live in Sacramento? Ultimately, all the A's are doing with this West Sacramento business is alienating locals even further. The Niners play in Santa Clara, and they do everything within their power to get announcers to tell the audience that somehow they're still close in San Francisco, that they may even be in San Francisco. But those running the Athletics want people to say West Sac? Utterly ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's probably a good word to describe this entire fiasco. Two teams sharing a minor league stadium that is outdoors in a city that gets alarmingly hot, and one of those teams won't even mention the town's name, only some unnecessarily specific suburb that is only used to address where the franchise plays its games. If you were to do a survey of people in Sacramento who are excited by the prospect of the A's playing here, you would hear some really odd things from this group. Firstly, a lot of them believe the team is staying permanently, which is not happening any way you slice it. They also have no idea about this whole not Sacramento A's business. In fact, they'll probably call them the Sacramento A's, even though the team has specifically said that ain't happening, do not do that. Mostly though, this group has bought into some form of the anti-Oakland argument, whether it's a bad fan base or the town's decaying or whatever stupid parroted nonsense propaganda talking point, they are lapping that stuff up. I keep coming back to Vivek Ranadive though and his role in all of this. I cannot help but think he is doing our fair town a huge disservice. Firstly, one of our previous baseball teams bolted under wildly dubious circumstances, not completely different to what the Athletics are doing right now. And we all know the Kings ordeal, we don't need to get into that, but obviously relocation is a very sensitive topic. But really though, the A's playing in Sacramento, it just seems like bad business. You have literally kneecapped your minor league franchise, a team with stagnant attendance and a dwindling local presence. And for what? A few free upgrades on your stadium that probably are going to be irrelevant if the town turns its back on minor league baseball entirely, which is a highly likely scenario. If you have the A's in Sacramento for 3 seasons, are people really going to come out in droves for the River Cats once the Athletics are gone? I highly doubt it. Meanwhile, locals are getting thoroughly gouged on ticket prices, and we can't even refer to this team as our own. It has no possession to Sacramento whatsoever. Ultimately, the novelty of the Athletics playing in the capital, it's going to wear off in maybe 1.5, 2, 3, 4 question mark seasons. Who knows how long the team is here? People who are happy now are going to turn on the situation when they realize the franchise isn't staying, and that they are paying 10 times more to watch this same Athletics ball club that Fisher had tank its way out of Oakland. And given the traffic nightmare that ensnarls that part of town around Sutter Health Park, you ain't saving that much time on the commute, even if the games end at 9 o'clock. If you are a Sacramentan excited for the A's to play at Sutter Health Park next season, that is your right. But do not get upset when they are no better than your roommate's no good ne'er-do-well friend who crashes on the couch for like a month, breaks a bunch of stuff, eats your food, and leaves things much worse off. But hey, that proud Giants affiliate logo on the outfield wall is going to look hella tight when the A's are playing in Sacramento next year. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to know more about how the Sacramento Capitals managed to bring the biggest stars in the sport of tennis to a shopping mall parking lot in Citrus Heights, video upper right-hand corner of your screen. And for the story of how Sacramento lost its AAA ball club in the 1970s and the wild circumstances surrounding that, video lower right-hand corner. Until next time, I'm Cheyenne Hollis. This is The Touchback. And as always, hashtag take it out, the 25.